Okay, let's go ahead and let's turn off that first, but also check out some Kingdom Hearts analysis from the Gamers Joint. Pretty excited.
So the Kingdom Hearts Deep Dive panel has provided us with yet another Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, this time a 4-minute extended version of yesterday's Disney Showcase trailer. There are a lot more cutscenes and also gameplay sections, though this trailer is certainly very cutscene heavy. Some brand new things have been revealed to us, like Riku, new playable character segments for Mickey, and even Donald and Goofy. There's a lot of new stuff to sift through in this trailer. Now the way this analysis is going to work is I'm only going to be talking about the new stuff a part of the extended version, so if you haven't already, be sure to check out.
Yeah, because like because this is the same approach that I'm. Why is Vali prepared to attack? What is he trying to attack? Like, what is this boy a guard dogging for? I know Serezia is a very protected character because Marluxia's looking for his kid sister, but also, what are you trying to protect? Anyways, there was a leaked trailer of Spider-Man Across the Beyond the Spider-Verse. I wanted to react to it, but I would rather react to it when it's officially on YouTube, and then to go from there kindly.
My very first analysis that covers most of the Coco stuff. We may as well start off with all of the Coco stuff that's included in the extended version. It's more or less the same clips that we got to see in the 1-minute 30-second version of the trailer, just a few extended scenes. I really need to mention the visuals of Kingdom Hearts 4. This is Square Enix's very first,
which is pretty sick,
5 game, and my god, if
this is the first one. Okay.
Kingdom Hearts 3, which is already a fantastic looking, stylized UE4 game, the visual fidelity has absolutely been upped here. Coco's a really great example of this. It's just insane how close
it is. An incredibly big world, and all the minute details you see here, and then some of the people here, there, here, where. It's pretty sick.
This get to the actual film itself, the world is so vibrant, so colorful.
It's pretty close.
What we're noticing here is stuff like texture work and lighting has been absolutely improved compared to Kingdom Hearts 3. All of the cutscenes we see throughout this trailer are all running in-engine in real time, which is ridiculous. The visual fidelity of Kingdom Hearts 4 is jaw-dropping. The game is also being played at a smooth 60 frames per second, and I have to imagine
that's pretty good. 60
recorded on the PC version, because resolution-wise, it's also running at 4K. This is kind of.
I do find it interesting that the UI over when it comes to the minimap, to the character designs here, to the commands over here, it is ripped. It appears to be simply ripped from the original game, from the original Kingdom Hearts 3 game. Like, it feels like it's ripped from there. But also, it's kind of like the idea of, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But noticing the UI has not changed tells me that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this is a great representation.
Ridiculous. Only because if we look at Coco, the surrounding buildings off in the distance, the buildings that are all stacked on top of each other, appear to be proper 3D models. At least looking at the ones that are close to the playable space, you will notice a 2D background that is applied beyond those 3D models.
Okay.
Let's see a slightly extended version of what we believe to be a Coco boss here, where Sora can switch rails by, I'm assuming, pressing one of the trigger buttons. It also looks like you have to dodge fireballs that are being shot by this enemy as well.
Yeah, it looks like a segment. Hector, what are you doing? Get your head back on. That looks to me almost like a segment to where you have to like slowly bide your time as the Keyblade drags you close enough for a hit. So it may be 3 instances where you have to be like enduring enough and then smack him.
Let's see a longer version of the team-up attack between Sora and Hector, known as Magica Pinata. It sends out multiple blasts, throwing in
Magica Pinata,
and eventually summoning a heart pinata that Sora breaks open with a bunch of jewels that dish out a bunch of damage. Something I am noticing with Kingdom Hearts 4 is it looks like for some of the battle scenarios, you've actually got NPCs standing around spectating the fight unfold. Because not only do we see it here in Coco with citizens of the Land of the Dead watching this fight unravel, but this also appeared in the June trailer of Kingdom Hearts 4, where citizens of Quadratum will actually watch Sora fighting the Heartless. Definitely a new thing for Kingdom Hearts. So the very first thing,
what I'm understanding from that in itself is it's twofold, to where people are witnessing something for the first time. That could be a definitely thing to where people in Quadratum and people in the other scene, they're witnessing a thing that's never happened in their world before. So either they're cheering on the heroes, much like how friends are my power, but also the idea that for this instance, this meter is, I wonder if for Coco specifically, this is meant to be a performance. This scene is supposed to be a performance that Sora has to do along with Miguel, and then once that meter is complete, the mini game is complete
do we see
as well.
Here in Coco with citizens of the Land of the Dead watching this fight.
And they're watching the fight. I'm thinking because it's like a scene. It's a show in itself.
Unravel, but this also appeared in the June trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4, where citizens of Quadratum will actually watch Sora fighting the Heartless. Definitely a new thing for Kingdom Hearts. So the very first thing we get to see is the Master of Masters standing in a grassy field with...
I don't even know if it's Master of Masters for sure. Because again, like everybody's cloaked figure for sure, right? But I can't confidently say it's the Master of Masters until you actually have him start talking. Much like how in the previous trailer, with specifically Quadratum in its clip, we don't know if it's Master Masters until they start talking. Because in that last trailer, all we saw is a person wearing a cloak, and then we hear the person talking, and it wasn't the Master of Masters, it was Ava. We were confident that Ava is speaking in that hood, but we don't know the face of Ava.
With Sora looking out over Quadratum, we'll also notice that there are dandelions floating by. Now, I believe that this is actually a CG cutscene, as the fidelity of this seems to be just a little bit beyond what we're seeing in the real-time cutscenes. I might be wrong about this, but there is a chance that this could potentially be our very first look at the Kingdom Hearts 4 opening. However, this shot of the Master of Masters probably seems familiar. This is a redone shot of the very same scene we got to see at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts Key back cover. And with the dandelion floating by Sora, this is some really great symbolism to say that, hey, a lot of what's going to happen in Kingdom Hearts 4's story will directly relate to the origin of Kingdom Hearts looking at the Key era. The more that we get to see of Kingdom Hearts 4 and its story, the more it becomes apparent that, yes, the mobile games are absolutely important to the Lost Master saga.
Yeah, because we don't know if the Master of Masters is the person who went through back in time, because all we know is that the Master of Masters knows the event of the future because his eye is on the Keyblade that has traveled through time. So he can only ever speculate a reasonable future that has happened based on what the Keyblade has seen.
This shot of Quadratum with Sora and Strelitzia standing on, I believe, the Shibuya Hikari in the Shibuya area of Tokyo, or Quadratum, is breathtaking. But again, I am led to believe that this is a CG cutscene. I don't believe they've constructed something as expansive with this level of visual fidelity in-engine. I believe it was mentioned by Tai Yasue at the Deep Dive panel, though, that Quadratum is the largest playable space that the team have constructed for a Kingdom Hearts game. So even if this isn't the actual Quadratum constructed in a playable space, we still know that this world is going to be fairly large. Speaking of the dandelion, Sora and Strelitzia standing in Quadratum, where he mentions that someone is apparently asking for dandelion dispatch. I wonder if that is the group that Sora's a part of in Quadratum, looking at Strelitzia, Sigurd, and Vali, the team of Keyblade wielders that helps out with the darkness arriving in Quadratum. It also looks like smartphones are going to be used yet again. Sora's got a brand new one, no longer does he have a gummy phone, but something that resembles a more modern looking smartphone.
I would love to have that phone case, by the way. If it's possible to make merchandise to sell, to like advertise Kingdom Hearts, I want to buy that phone case. That phone case looks sick.
I love how the camera is in the shape of a Mickey symbol. There's also a charm attached to it, and I'm pretty sure it's meant to be a silhouette of Jiminy Cricket, which is a nice little nod to how the gummy phone in Kingdom Hearts 3 acted as Jiminy's journal. I have to imagine that in Kingdom Hearts 3, the phone will be incorporated into actual gameplay, looking at a potential photo mode. I also wonder if it can be used to communicate with other Keyblade wielders in Quadratum to perhaps ask for their assistance. We then see Sora and Strelitzia.
I wonder if there's also a chance, like, because magic can magic, what if they will have just upgrade phones to, like, maybe across worlds? Hard to say. It's almost impossible to know that because we haven't had communication between worlds quite yet. But
witnessing some infantry ships flying into Quadratum, no doubt to help out with the current invasion of the Heartless.
But it's also a dark side.
Tucked away in the very first Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer that we got this year, but we've got a better look at them here. They are incredibly reminiscent of the assault crafts that appear in.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned.
15. Again, this is another strong connection to both 15 and Versus 13, with Nomura reincorporating a lot of the ideas that he originally had with Versus 13 for Kingdom Hearts 4. Because later on in the trailer, we then see some soldiers that are clearly a part of this organization, which again look incredibly similar to the Niflheim Magitech infantry from Final Fantasy 15, and that also appeared during Versus 13 trailers. We're pretty sure that Luxord is some type of a commander or sergeant for this military organization, as it looks like a possible emblem for this military group could be that of a phoenix, where it looks like the same emblem might be present on the soldiers' shields. So again, just like the two. But
that's also another thing too, to where like, if Xemnas and Xehanort recruited Luxord alongside Demyx, Marluxia, and Larcene, he recruited them for their knowledge of the Age of Fairy Tale. What is Luxord's position prior to Quadratum then? Because he could have been one of the upperclassmen that we might see in a film. Hard to say, but there's a big question to figure out. What is the official role from Demyx's in Luxord, though?
Previous trailers we got for Kingdom Hearts 4, this one here is focusing in on the invasion of Quadratum. It looks like there are going to be three groups a part of this conflict. The Dandelion group, which involves Sora, we've got the military organization, and the Heartless. We still haven't seen much of the foretellers, we don't really know what they're doing, as we saw in the previous trailer from June. It seems like they're just kind of...
Yeah, because Ava is discussing the idea that they never knew the concepts of Manifest of Light and Darkness until they came into the world, and now it's been years since they introduced it, so they are acting as the white blood cells to invasive species.
Watching this entire event unfold from the sidelines. We get to see even more destruction of Quadratum with the Dark Side Heartless shooting forth 3 orbs of darkness into the surrounding buildings. Sora and the gang are doing their absolute best to help the city out, and even the citizens. We see a shot here of Sora jumping out of a bus that's about to get destroyed, holding a lady who is holding her cat. Definitely getting a certain level of like superhero vibes coming from Sora, and also just the general cutscene direction for the cutscenes of Kingdom Hearts 4 seem so much better than what we got to witness in Kingdom Hearts 3. It really does look like the animation work for cutscenes has been improved so much. I guess this also helps.
Wait, I'm looking at the makeup on his hands, and it almost looks like there is a good chance that if his attire was masked thanks to the Keyblade or because of Miguel helping him paint himself. Hard to say.
With the fact that Sora is in more of a realistic world. His movements and everything just looks so much more, I guess, human.
But looking at this right now, it's really interesting to see till where it's interesting to see, is there a chance that he's calling upon the world's Keyblade based on the way he's positioning himself in a way to where he's like trying to be in tune, much like in tune with like the rhythms of the world. As a Keyblade wielder, he's technically responsible with the responsibility to protect Israel too. So he's calling out to power.
World. His movements and everything just looks so much more, I guess, human and realistic. Remember that Kingdom Hearts 3 was the very first time that Osaka team had developed a video game using Unreal Engine. And now that they have all of that experience and expertise from developing Kingdom Hearts 3, it means that whatever we get to see in Kingdom Hearts 4, in my opinion, will end up being improved tenfold, whether it is things like cutscene direction or gameplay. Personally, I think this is one of the most exciting aspects of Kingdom Hearts 4. I also want to point out how the Quadratum Heartless appear. They sort of materialize out of a bunch of particles, very different to how a regular shadow, for instance, would appear from the ground.
That is unique.
Seems to have a weird type of effect on the environment where it almost looks like the physical environment is becoming fragmented. Now we get to talk.
My understanding of like that fragmentation is the idea. I think I said this earlier in the stream, but for the first time in this video, I mentioned how there's a potential chance that the way that I'm thinking Sora is in the data version of Quadratum. I'm really thinking that Sora is in data Quadratum, much like how Ephemer stayed in a different data version of Skylat Kylum. Sora found himself into the data world of Quadratum.
About the real
and all the Heartlesses that are like coming in, they're corrupting material in order to materialize into the world.
Cool stuff. First up is the playable Mickey segment, and this just looks so good. We've been needing something like this for Kingdom Hearts. So just like we were theorizing, the Mickey sections for Kingdom Hearts 4 will be very much puzzle orientated, something we've desperately needed to sort of switch up the gameplay of Kingdom Hearts for an incredibly long time. In Scarlet Kylum, Mickey is able to quite literally jump inside of books. I love how these spaces look. They're all constructed as if they are origami, and we can see that the floors and the walls, all of the pieces of paper and pages have the ancient Scarlet and Kylum Keyblade language plastered across them. These Mickey sections have a few interesting mechanics, like Mickey being able to use magic on a pin to construct a bridge. 2D sections where Mickey can summon a paper cutout of himself, which is very reminiscent of something like Super Mario Odyssey's 2D sections, or Zelda A Link Between Worlds 2D sections. It's pretty obvious where they got the inspiration for this from. Or being able to construct a massive Mickey paper mache or origami to destroy obstacles in the environment. Things like the 2D paper cutout or the giant Mickey origami seem to be usable items. As we can notice down by Mickey's HUD, we can see that Mickey currently has 2 of the paper cutouts that he can use, along with another one, a blue thing.
Yeah, it looks like a finite resource.
So I'm assuming that these are things that you'll pick.
Yeah, it looks like a finite resource to explore the puzzle of the world.
Up in the spaces, and that you can kind of keep on stock to use at certain points throughout this level. At any point using these gimmicks, you are able to return to playing as Mickey, so you can cancel out of the giant paper mache or 2D cutout whenever you like. These gimmicks are controlled independently to Mickey. I believe we're actually witnessing 2 different book levels for the Mickey section here in the trailer, as in this footage we've got to collect 5 books, I guess, in order to complete the stage.
5 books or 5 pages.
We have to collect 3 books, so it looks like you'll jump into multiple books in the Skylar Kylum library. I do wonder if the majority of the Mickey section takes place within just the library, and that most of his gameplay consists of these puzzle-solving sections inside of books. I also wonder too if there is going to be any type of combat involved with Mickey's gameplay as well. We can see that for the command menu, which is a very small one, he does have the attack option, but whether or not this is just to simply sort of interact with things in the environment, or if it actually does involve combat, maybe with Heartless, who knows, it'd be sort of cool if there were some Heartless that do appear in this book.
An egg.
You're a beautiful egg.
I'm an egg.
You're a beautiful egg.
My curdles are in my heart.
Yes, they are.
I was like,
What time is it? Oh yeah, oh my god, it's 7 o'clock already.
Yeah,
But hey, have you had a good day so far?
I did have a good day. Well, I mean, I did have a good day. It's not so far. I did have a good day.
I mean, the day's not over till you're flat.
I mean, I'm about to be flat.
You're about to be, so it hasn't been fun?
Yes,
That's good to hear.
Been a good time.
Did you eat anything?
I ate my strawberries.
Anything else you want to eat? Like a chicken quesadilla or whatever?
Are you able to make it for me?
I can make it soon. Okay.
I'd like to. We're
Okay.
gonna go flat on the bed though.
Would you like me to put some kale in it? Okay. Cool.
and you can use some of the gimmicks in a combat sense, like the giant paper Mickey origami thing. Beautiful looking command menu for Mickey sections as well. It's clearly themed around the Scarlet Kylan library. There's even a hidden Mickey part of this as well, looking nice. However, easily my favorite part.
My understanding of the segment with Mickey is the idea that he is, because again, like I mentioned before in a previous video, in a previous segment of the stream, but after the events of Memory of Melody, which is a Kyrie rhythm game, what Mickey's current objective, as far as we know, is that his job to go to Scarlet Kylan and research on how to get Sora. So that's his entire job right now, as far as we know, is that his job is to go to Scarlet Kylan, do some research, and we don't know if he's a part of any final fight quite yet until we see clips.
Of this trailer was the reveal that both Donald and Goofy are going to be playable characters in Kingdom Hearts 4. This is something we've waited for an incredibly long time, although we got to play as both of these characters in days, technically, via mission mode. They've never been directly playable in the story of any
I don't
Kingdom
remember
Hearts game.
days.
All this gameplay is taking place in the Underworld, so yes, it's actually going to be a playable world. Olympus.
I would argue that they're only fighting right here because Hades is that kind of guy to say, hey, I will answer your questions, but survive my gauntlet to prove or be entertainment to me.
Is returning for the 46th time. We've got a gameplay section where Donald and Goofy have to slide down a cliff dodging lava. Also, and this is important, they have kept the themed command menu for the Underworld here very reminiscent of KH2's. The other
That's
thing we
pretty
have
sick.
is the hidden Mickeys that appear in the little fire effect. The only command on the command menu here for this slide section is attack, so it looks like perhaps you can attack while you're sliding, but interestingly, there's a little down arrow which isn't present for the next gameplay scene where they're actually engaging in combat, so I wonder what that means. But yeah, there's actual combat encounters with these two characters where it
I would argue that button is their method of interacting with the world. That's simply just it.
looks like you can switch between both of them in real time on the fly. You'll notice that there is a little button press prompt here on the heads-up display. And we're witnessing a full-blown combo here for Donald, where he sends out a few magic projectiles, with the finisher being this massive star explosion. The flow of how he operates with his combo looks quite reminiscent of something like double arrow guns from Kingdom Hearts.
I was thinking of wisdom mode from Kingdom Hearts 2.
3. Obviously, he is magic and ranged based. Looking at the command menu, we can select magic for Donald, so no doubt we'll be able to perform the typical magics like Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, and there's also a combat style down the bottom. This is also selectable for Goofy's command menu as well, so I have to wonder if this maybe changes the behavior of how they perform for their base moveset. For Goofy, instead of magic, he has a skills option, so I have to imagine he can activate some of his iconic moves like Goofy Tornado or Goofy Turbo. To use these special skill attacks, you'll use MP, but Goofy's MP is known as SP, which I'm guessing stands for skill points. And just like Donald, he's got his own performable base combo. Again, it's just crazy to see both of these characters with proper functional combos and a base moveset. Because we've only really ever witnessed these characters pulling off like a simple smack and then their special abilities. It looks like there is a team attack between both Donald and Goofy, where they jump on Goofy's shield and perform like an ultra tornado of
That's
sorts.
pretty
They also
sick.
perform a fusion jump, whatever that means, and perform the finisher when they're ready to do so. This is yet again happening in the Underworld, where they have to defeat 3 waves of Heartless, and we can also see that Hades is sitting on his throne in the background. So this tells us that while, yes, they are currently in Olympus to seek Hades' help, he does still sort of play the villain role.
Yeah,
He
maybe.
isn't necessarily now just a good guy who's willing to help both Donald and Goofy.
He's not a
Clearly,
good guy, he just- he
tests them in
wants
this situation.
something for
Notice, though, at
himself.
some point throughout this combat encounter, he ends up leaving his chair. I wonder if he ends up involving himself in the fight at some point. What's even crazier about
I hope
Donald and
not.
Goofy, though, is they appear in the Coco world. This is their designs for the Land of the Dead. Now, we were under the assumption that Sora is purely a solo agent throughout Kingdom Hearts 4, no longer are Donald and Goofy party members, and the gameplay footage of Sora in Coco confirms this, with only Hector and Miguel as party members. But somehow, Donald and Goofy managed to make their way to this world as well, so perhaps at some point, they managed to reach Sora via Coco. Due to the unique nature of the Land of the Dead, perhaps this is one of the very only worlds that Sora visits in Kingdom Hearts 4, where he can come in contact with Donald and Goofy, who are currently
There
on
could
the
be a
other
good
side of
chance, yeah.
reality. It's still unknown how Disney worlds even work within unreality. Maybe the worlds that Sora visits throughout Kingdom Hearts 4 do act as a sort of bridge between both reality and unreality. And rather than Donald and Goofy actually crossing paths with Sora, it could be a setup similar to the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1 in Traverse Town, where we might get the odd cutscene showing us Donald and Goofy actively searching for Sora, but they never actually cross paths. This is a really great scene, though, because it
That
confirms
could
to us
be-
that
I would
Donald
like
and
that.
Goofy
I would really
still
like
have
that. I
a
didn't think
major
about that.
involvement in Kingdom Hearts 4 to the extent of actually visiting the worlds, or world, Coco so far, that Sora is currently visiting. We got our very first cutscene of
And plus, at the same time, we don't even know for a fact. We don't know for a fact if Sora is going to be in Quadratum in the beginning of the game or the end of the game, or in the middle. We don't know the placement of Quadratum, and we don't know the placement of Coco as well. So it will be exciting to see like how they shuffle the order of operations within the game's like
Zigbar, or should I say
time.
Wtphu, encountering Xehanort, mentioning that he looks pretty good for an old coup. Personally, this is a dynamic that I'm really interested to see more of, only because we know that Zigbar was Xehanort's right-hand man for a very long time. Now that the tables have turned and Zigbar is able to put on display his true nature, I'm sure there's quite a few things he's always wanted to say to Xehanort that he finally can say in Kingdom Hearts 4. Also, again, the visuals here look stunning. The lighting, you can also see the water drop sort of shader that is applied to the coat of Zigbar. It looks stunning. This cutscene is actually happening in Miyashita Park, which is the location that Tetsuya Nomura first drew Kingdom Hearts 4 Xehanort for the Dark Road art. The final scene
That's
here is an
pretty
extended
sick.
version of Sora, Sigurd, and Strelitzia facing off against the three dark sides. But what's really cool about this is we get our first look at Riku in Kingdom Hearts 4. Clearly,
Yeah, the entire panel, very loud. And I think like with the deep dive like propped up in my queue, we will see that as well.
group are in a bit of trouble, but suddenly Sora witnesses a
Because I think Shrexia still can't summon her Keyblade. That's why like her Keyblade is translucent, bluish like.
massive glowing blue light, and out of that appears Riku. I think there's a good chance that this might confirm to us that the screenshot we saw last year of the Darkside Heartless here, with an orange light and a blue light kind of flying by it, could possibly indicate the blue light is Riku. The only thing is though, this screenshot looks like it's taking place when the very first Darkside Heartless appears, and it's also set during the day, whereas...
Yeah, because my understanding is like, what if they both Helldiver drop into the game, much like they did during Dream Drop Distance? That's a good theory.
Riku appearing is set at night. The other possibility is that these lights appearing during the first Darkside encounter could possibly be both Vali and maybe Sigurd. What's really interesting about this though is we initially had
Yeah, I
the
was
theory
talking
based
about
on the
this.
Kingdom Hearts 3 secret movie that there were going to possibly be two versions of Quadratum. Sora's in one and Riku's in one. A very similar setup to how Dream Drop Distance.
That's what I mentioned
However, in
too.
this trailer, we clearly see that Sora is literally witnessing Riku arrive before his eyes, confirming to us that they are both in the very same Quadratum. We get to see a slight glance of his Kingdom Hearts 4 outfit. I am loving this design just based on the back that we're
It
seeing right now.
reminds the bracelet now just reminds me of Riku's original character design in the first game, where as a child, the child form would wear a yellow and blue shirts and bracelets. So he's wearing one of the bracelets.
Yeah, it's kind of more in line with the clothing style, I feel, of Kingdom Hearts 2 for the characters. I was absolutely not a fan of the character outfits in Kingdom Hearts 3, so it's kind of cool to know that Tetsuya Nomura is going back to the more streetwear style for character outfits in Kingdom Hearts 4. You'll notice that the pattern on his shirt here actually has some Mickey symbols on it.
I kinda
Very
want
cool
that
bit of
shirt, no
connection
lie.
between both Mickey
That looks
and
pretty
Riku.
sick.
But
I
Riku
want
also
that
has the crown
shirt.
symbol here as well. This is the very first time that Riku has ever represented the crown. As we know, this has always been an emblem or a symbol that's represented Sora. I do wonder though what Riku's objective will be once he's arrived in Quadratum. Will it be a scenario where he remains with Sora and goes with Sora to the various worlds we get to visit, so eventually he becomes a permanent party member? I know this is something a lot of us have wanted for a really long time. Or after him first arriving, he'll have his own objective where he kind of goes off for a little bit and then we'll cross paths with him again at a later point in the game. So that's a bit of a deep dive into the extended D23 trailer. Honestly, Kingdom Hearts 4 is looking unbelievably good. There is real potential that this game could end up being one of, if not the best Kingdom Hearts game. I am incredibly optimistic about this only because Osaka Team can take upon a lot of the feedback that was given towards Kingdom Hearts 3 and heavily apply it into the design of Kingdom Hearts 4. I still believe that Kingdom Hearts 2 reigns supreme, but I'm honestly crossing my fingers that Kingdom Hearts 4 can go above and beyond. This trailer was definitely cutscene heavy, like we still really haven't seen much gameplay of Sora.
And that's completely
core of
okay.
KH4's gameplay. I do hope that future trailers incorporate more Sora gameplay and kind of less story-related cutscenes, as we know Kingdom Hearts 3 kind of showed us too much in the cutscene department. Either way though, I am so excited for this next coming year. The proper marketing cycle for this game will begin in 2027, so there are definitely exciting times on the horizon. Now guys, thank you so much for tuning
I'm definitely excited to see more about it though, because when it comes, let's do it like in a follow. Like the whole idea behind what's going on with Quadratum, with Hades, and now in Scala and Kylum, it's pretty sick. I am still pretty sad that we don't get a chance to really see what's happening. We don't know what happened with the missing links, but we do know that the whatever was on the cutting room floor is very important to what we will see later on. I'm really excited otherwise. I can't wait. But by the way, also follow Gamers Joints. I'm gonna put the link in the I'll put his link in the description below. And I'm really excited to see where we have for this game coming forward.